Hello guys, and welcome back to another update video already. It's hasn't been that long at all since I said I was going to do another update or something when I have more information, which I do. But I do want to ask some questions for you guys. So for you, the viewers, I'm looking at you. I have a webcam now, so I can point at you. I'm going to ask some questions after I don't have a lot of updates, but I do have some things I want to, talk about the new channel, but the most important thing is going to be the questions at the end. So yeah, so be sure, prepare to write down some comments or some responses in the comments or on the Discord server, or however you want to tell me, but probably through the comments is the best way. Anyway, so the first thing to mention is I last time said I really wanted to keep it down to 4 main members, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do that automatically. Plus, I actually have more people now that are interested in participating. So what we're likely going to do is start out with 6 members, and then that we're still going to have 4 people over at once. Or I mean, I'd only have 3 people over if you don't include me. So we'd only be doing 4-player Let's Plays. So we wouldn't have 5 or 6 people over. It just gets way too chaotic at that point. We've actually tried it before. We've tried 5 people. It's a mess. And I can't remember if I said this last time, but I'm not going to be afraid to do 3-player stuff too. So if for whatever reason, someone can't make it for the day, if we do a 3-player series, that's completely fine. I'm not going to be super opposed to that as much as I was last time. I don't think if it gets to the point where it's 2-player, that gets a bit boring. So yeah, expect probably 4-player and 3-player. We're going to try to prioritize 4-player though. So we'll hopefully have more times where there's 4 people, but yeah, that's probably the first thing. The second thing I can talk about is how we're gonna actually record and what equipment are we gonna use? Because I remember in the Burnout Let's Play I'm doing on my solo channel, I mentioned something like that. But we're gonna use 4 headset microphones nowadays instead of using 4 microphones like this right here. It's connected to a mic stand and stuff like that. I'm probably gonna buy 4 actual headsets. I'm probably just going to start out with 1 for myself because I'm not sure when we're going to start this up. Probably sooner than later, actually. I was originally thinking over summer, but it might actually even be sooner than that. I've been really looking forward to this. So it might be in a few months, couple months maybe. It really kind of just depends on the whole situation with COVID and how busy I am, really, are the 2 main factors that are keeping me from doing this right now. But yeah, we're going to use 4 headset microphones. And so we're going to have each of them will actually be plugged in to the speakers. So we won't have that feedback problem that we had before where you could hear the audio coming from the TV. That won't be a problem anymore. It's going to go straight through our headphones. So you won't be able to hear the audio from our TV. You'll still obviously hear gameplay audio, but you won't hear it. You won't hear this messy delay afterwards, I guess, if that makes sense. And hopefully the quality will be higher too, because we also won't have to deal with this problem, right? Where, you're backing away from the microphone. The headset follows you when we do that. So that should improve quality a bit. It's going to cost some money, and it'll just be something I do over time. It's another reason why I'm holding out from starting immediately. And that might not be something we actually have from the start of the channel. We might still be using this microphone setup, which wasn't a huge deal. It still works, and it's still relatively high quality, but I do eventually want to move on to using headset microphones. The third big thing is I'm also considering using an outro. It's something we didn't do in the last Jukedama channel, but I think now I might have the skills to make a decent outro. I'm definitely not going to do an intro. I talked about that in the last video I made. I'm not a fan of intros, so we're not going to do that, but I am planning on probably using outros. We can make those interesting, and then that gives a good reason to put those end screen things up there. Because before, at the end of the video, I'd still use end screens, but then like the last 30 seconds, you'd just see the end screen, and it would cover the last 30 seconds of gameplay, which isn't like a huge deal, but it is something that I'll probably take care of at least. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all the updates. The biggest one I want to get out of the way is the members thing, but I do have questions. So the first one here is how important are consistent members to you guys? Of course, this goes along with the whole 6-member thing. Like, would you guys much prefer just 4 people over 6 people? Like, would you prefer trying to keep it consistent to 4 people as possible, and maybe every once in a while you have the other 2 guys or something? How important is that for you guys? Or do you guys not really care if it's like a jumbled, every once in a while it changes? Because realistically, that's going to give us the most flexibility. But I just want to know, as far as you guys are concerned, how important that is to you guys. Second question here is, would you guys enjoy pass the controller style of gameplay, where if we're playing a game that's single player, which a lot of games coming out recently have been, or they're either single player or they are online multiplayer, which is if we're going to do it in person, is not going to be, something we're able to do. Like, we don't have multiple Xboxes we can bring over to the house and do online that way. I wish that'd be cool, but we're definitely not there yet. So if we were to do some game like that, if a new single player game came out and every level or whatever, we switch the controller around. So, we're still having that multiplayer aspect of each of us is playing, but it was just, we're playing at different times. Would you guys still enjoy that? Or would you guys much prefer just keeping it down to like multiplayer games as much as possible so that each of us are playing? So it's 4 people playing at once versus 1 person, and we pass the controller around. So my next question here, how do you guys feel about editing down tedious episode parts? This is something I didn't do a whole heck of a lot in the last channel. I did sometimes, every once in a while, but and by tedious, I mean like points where, we get stuck on a level and we're just constantly trying to replay and get it done. And so we have it's going to take a while to beat that level. And of course, as we're playing the level, we still have that charisma of our reactions to trying to beat it that we would inevitably get rid of if we did edit it down. So that's partially why I'm asking this question versus just saying, because I know most people would say just, oh yeah, edit them down. Most people would prefer the edited down style, but it's just also something to keep into consideration that we are kind of losing that element. And this would only be really for really tedious parts. So I just want to know what you guys' opinions are. Personally, this one would probably be best answered with 3 different answers. So either the first response is you don't care at all. So we could edit them down, we could not. It doesn't make a difference to you. The second response is you'd prefer it. So you would rather see them edited down, but if it's not the end of the world. And the third response is you better edit them down or I'm not gonna want to watch it. I guess that's probably the best way to answer that question. This next one's pretty simple. What's your ideal episode length? We've kind of been doing about 30 minutes in the past. It definitely varied from time to time, but around 20 to 30 minutes. I was thinking about trying to keep it more towards 15 to 25 in the new channel, so we could fit more recording in, and especially if we did end up cutting out parts, that would bring it down to maybe 15 or something like that. And of course, this is, keeping into factor for your ideal episode length. This is keeping into factor that we're not editing down much. So just keep in mind, as far as an unedited episode goes, what would be the ideal length for that? Because I know there's a lot of different YouTubers out there doing completely different lengths. There's some, like Zach Scott Games will upload like an hour or two of content at a time, which is a bit hard to follow. But I know there's people that like that. So um, I think 30 minutes or less is kind of like 20 to 30 is usually my ideal. So that's kind of why we've been doing that. But just to ask you guys, what's your ideal episode length? Let me know down there. And so my last question is probably the most important here, but what's your biggest Let's Playing pet peeve? So just like when you watch other people do Let's Plays, what's the biggest thing that you see people do that just like drives you insane? You know, it can be anything. It could be like an editing style. It could be a type of like commentary that they do. It could be like bringing in special guests or how they play the game. Just like anything on that regards. What is the biggest pet peeve you have? And even if it's not that huge, even if you can't think of anything that's like, you know, that's like video ruining where it just completely makes you want to close off the page, even if there's just something little that just kind of bugs you, just anything like that, let me know. Because I'm kind of trying to make sure that this next channel is we can do as much as possible in advance to make sure that this next channel is as enjoyable as possible for us and also the viewers. So that's kind of why I'm asking these. So please let me know your answers to those questions down below. And if you have any other ideas or anything for the channel, of course, comment down below. Anything like that is preferred. So thanks for sticking in this update. I'm not sure when the next one will be or what I'll do. I'll probably have an update on our potential games because I have been coming up with a list of potential Let's Plays to start off. So maybe I'll ask you guys what games you want to see. That might be the next video, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this next channel a lot more now. You can see that the last video I uploaded was only 4 days ago. So yeah, it's definitely been on my mind lately. So yeah, thanks for watching this, and I will see you guys for our next update.